That is essentially the crux of the Cold War, is that if Russia and the USA have nukes, they can't fight each other, because if they fight each other, they kill the entire world. So instead, what they do is they stop the other country from spreading their own influence.
Yeah.
So communism is this new thing, and the only place that has it at the beginning is the Soviet Union. So for the Soviet Union to have more influence, they need more countries to be communist. And so the next thing on the foreign policy agenda for the Soviets is trying to spread it everywhere as quickly as they can and as clinically as they can. And for the Americans, it's about stopping that and stemming it, which is why it seems, it's kind of similar to any conflict where, like, why are we sending funds to this country? Or why? It's always because they have their own, America or whoever has their own reasons to want this country to survive or fight the war. And for this moment in the 1950s, it's purely just because America, and I'm sorry, Korea, America did not care about you. It cared about communism not happening.
I would say they care about South Korea now.
Yeah, because of Russia
No,
and
because
China.
South Korea is like an unbelievable technological superpower.
Yeah, no, do me a favor. Come on. There's
Mate, Samsung.
Come on,
Samsung, bro.
Samsung. No, the only reason that, and let's be real, America is not like the nicest ally at times. They are doing it to serve their own interests. Like
the minerals deal for Ukraine.
Exactly. They only care about what furthers their interests. And South Korea and Japan were two democratically elected countries that America had huge influence over, that now gave them the opportunity to have influence in a region that is full of the players that want to beat America, which is China and Russia.
But Japan's speaking of that, Japan is now so strategically important for the US, because it's now a massive ally of the US after being a bitter rival.
Since
it's the first bulwark. Bulwark, is that how you pronounce that word? The first bulwark. It's the first bullock against.
Yeah, well, no,
against China invading Taiwan.
Yes, it absolutely is, and they want that sphere. And the good thing about the Americans wanting to save Taiwan is the fact that all the other countries are terrified of China. You make a case for maybe 3 or 4 nations that are America's biggest and most important ally, but the number one, and in this article I read, in their opinion, was Japan, and probably has been Japan for
absolutely.
Many decades at this point, with the rise of
the third biggest economy in the world, right?
But it's less about because sure, but there's not that much difference between the Japanese economy and the German or the British or the South Korean. The point being is that it's so strategically important to that region that America basically needs that ally at all times.
I'd agree with
and
that.
similar with South Korea, which is why in a conflict such as the Korean War, they are furiously, they need to make sure that this country, even if they don't win anything, they cannot lose.